What's up, guys? Welcome to the Anime Sensei channel. Before we begin, remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and press that bell icon to stay updated of all the new content we're creating. And beware for the following spoilers. "10. Shinka no Mi Shiranai Uchi ni Kachigumi Jinsei." The first thing I did when entering this show is remove any expectations or hope I ever had for it. I wanted to go into it on a clean slate, as if I've never seen an isekai before in my life. The main character is your typical loser that's bullied and treated like shit only because he's fat. Seriously, that's literally it. Even the game system that transfers the students bullies him for being fat by categorizing him as barely human. Anyway, he gets transported into a totally different area than his classmates, and he's left to his own devices, kind of like Arufatura. If you wish though, Arufatura is more on the serious dark side, while this one is more like Konosuba, with its ridiculousness and humor. I mean, the main girl is a freaking gorilla for crying out loud, but damn is she hot. This series sadly was overlooked by many since they expected much of it, and it didn't live up to their expectations. However, as a comedic, light-hearted isekai romance, the show isn't half bad. "9. Kyukai no Kanata." The story starts off with an unusual girl named Mirai. She belongs to a certain clan of spirit world warriors and is the sole survivor. She possesses the ability to manipulate her blood into weapons. That's why it's her job to hunt down creatures called yomu, who are the result of negative human emotions. One day she comes across a rare case. It's a half-human, half-yomu named Akihito. And even though she tries to take him out, she can't because the man in question is immortal. Since that day, they both form an unusual kind of friendship, where Mirai tries to kill him whenever she can, but fails. Later, Akihito also makes Mirai join a literature club, and there she meets two other spirit world warriors. They all become really good friends, but little do they know about the upcoming threat that they have no choice but to face. "8. Arifareta." A complete class of teenage students is isekai to another world as heroes of the nation summoned to battle an impending doom threatening to destroy the world. You know, the usual isekai shenanigans. This MC is given a powerful ability, yet it is useless in an actual fight. In the thick of the battle, as they were retreating from a collapsing bridge, one of the other classmates betrays him and blasts him with a fireball, sending him even deeper down into the dungeon floors, assuming he killed him. But we can't just kill off the main character on episode 1, now can we? Since he's such a lucky bastard, he encounters a killer bear that takes his arm from him and eats it in front of his eyes. I guess he needed a hand. Ba-dum-bum. Please kill me. He later on finds a source of holy water that he drinks from and heals his wounds, as well as starts to feed on the monsters he hunts, which are actually toxic for humans. But you gotta do what you gotta do in order to survive. Long story short, he finds a lowly vampire sealed in that dungeon, frees her, becomes lovers, and leaves the dungeon as an overpowered dynamic duo. Trust me, this show is amazing and worth your time, so go and check it out, and good news, Season 2 is already on the way. "7. Kujira no Kora Wasajo ni Utao." The Mud Whalers are divided into two parts, the marked ones and the unmarked. Those marked have telekinetic powers, forming 90% of the population, but sadly are cursed with short lives that end like a flash. Living in such a utopic society, these people grow antisocial and numb to the pain of loss and farewell. Shakuro is even more numb than all of them, as he hates the whale and how confined it is. He dreams of exploration and leaving the whale, only to stumble on a weird girl called Lycos that puts being kudere to shame. "6. Tales of Zestria the X." This MC takes powerful to a whole different level. He could possibly be the only mortal to ever see a seraphim being said to have the blessings of the gods, granting them certain powers and abilities. But I digress. Sori is no joke either, especially when he uses the ability to fuse with his companions, granting him a new set of weapons, looks, and armor. And just to give you an example of how damn strong he is, Sori was able to slay a dragon, one-shotting it pretty easy if you ask me. And that is a feat that not even legendary heroes over the ages were able to do. So yeah, you got that for power scaling. 5. Quanji Fashi. Mofan finds himself in a new world, a world where magic reigns supreme and the strength of your magic decided your reputation. The young man, despite coming from a poor background, has a dream of being a powerful magician and attending the prestigious magic school. After being accepted in the magic school, news about his background travel far and wide, and he becomes the laughingstock of the school. Mofan is able to master the fire element and also the lightning element, and with these powers, he will change the fate of the world. 4. Zero no Tsukaima. Being bad at magic and blowing everything up is one thing, but summoning a human as your familiar is a whole different matter. Louise Francois, nicknamed Zero for her worthless magic aptitude, is one of those typical stuck-up nobles with a shitty attitude and flat boobs to add to the mix. But who gives a damn about her anyway? The real jackpot of this anime is Augusta Frederica, with her big ass, red hair, and gigantic boobs, cleavage that she puts almost zero effort in hiding. And as such, she's sought out by a lot of the males, and she enjoys lavishing in her beauty, spending each night with a different guy. What a whore, am I right? But as anime watchers, we couldn't care less. All we want is to see the fan service in all its glory. 3. Rosario to Vampire. In a school made for yokai and monsters that take on human forms that is strictly forbidden for humans to enter unless they have a death wish, since they'll be killed on sight, a human student is admitted to this school as a last-ditch attempt thanks to his shitty grades. On paper, this show had a great story and idea. However, in execution, it was transformed into a clusterfuck of fan service. Honestly, you're better off checking out the manga. 2. Chrono Crusade. What better way to earn the ire and hatred of everyone than by abandoning them? Chrono used to be a demon from the demon race, chose to go against his own race and follow his friend Aeon beliefs, which they later on split up for different ideals. Nevertheless, Chrono, still hated by all the demons and counted as a traitor that needs to be put down on sight. Breaking off his demonic horns and losing his powers didn't help his case either. And as if all that wasn't enough, he even kills Magdalene, the woman he loves, and is imprisoned in a tomb for 50 years. 1. Titoba, Last Dungeon Mei no Mura no Shounen ga Joba no Machi de Kurasa Yaona Monogatari. These misunderstandings are one of the funniest things ever when it comes to anime. If you guys are familiar with MMOs, you'll understand my example. So, imagine you're a character born and accustomed to the laws, level, and difficulty of the strongest city in the MMO. That means you're one of the strongest in the game, no doubt, right? Well, this MC, even having all those conditions, had the illusion that he's the weakest ever and that he's worthless when it comes to power level and intelligence because he was the weakest in his village. Mind you, even the weakest person in the village is able to hunt monsters in the last dungeon pretty easily, which other countries only hear about in legends. When the MC decides to leave his village and go to the kingdom and enroll in the army, they all realize, finally including himself, how powerful his innate ability is thanks to his unusual upbringing in that village of champions. And with that, we conclude our video for today. If you enjoyed this list, I want you to smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to keep you notified of all our new videos. Also, comment down below on the anime you liked the most on this list, and if you're planning to watch any of them. And if you have any suggestions, place them in the comments as well. Until next time, see ya!
If you got a problem to speak out, I'm a cowboy and let's be by. Put Steins Gate at the treetop. Berserk what I'm keeping on rewatch. Hunter, I freak out. When I'm in my room, you should keep out. I'm a ghost of the shell, put you through hell like gun grave. That's a story to tell if you